Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Excuse me! Taxi! What are you doing?
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, calling in right now is the president of the Sergeants Benevolent Association, and Vincent Vallelong. Did I say it right?
Yeah, I think so, right?
You absolutely.
Well, Vincent,
how are you both this evening?
We're good. We're waiting to listen to what you have to say. You guys had important meetings today, and tell us, are we safe in New York?
Well, that's what we discussed today, Chris, with other people across the country. It seems that they possibly don't want to charge the criminals with actually what they should be charged with, which is amazing. I want to see what happens with the second piece that was just arrested in the snowball, the little snowball fight that took place. This sends a really bad message, and I said it to you guys last week. I mean, what they're saying is you can commit a crime and no one's going to charge you with it. You can walk right back outside the door and do whatever you want at this point going forward.
Vincent, too, I couldn't believe this. My jaw dropped. I thought it was like a typo, but it's a parolee with 131 prior busts just got arrested for setting a homeless man on fire at Penn Station. 131. I mean, there shouldn't be even any.
What's the record?
Yeah, what is the record?
One guy had 170, I think.
It's preposterous. I really just don't understand what people's thinking is. I mean, the judge should be able to say, no, you know what? You can't release him. He has to go back into the system. He has to go in front of the judge, and he should be tried. And it should be the full extent of the law. He just destroyed another family, is what he did.
I'm going to put my 2 cents in, Judge. Your judge is trying to precede me. I said
I defer to you. I yield my time.
Okay, I had Chairman Jordan on the phone. Me and Rita had Judge, and Tony Carbonetti's here, and Judge. We had Chairman Jordan on the phone, and Chairman Jordan is trying to pass a law to make, tell us,
about the sanctuary cities.
Sanctuary cities. Now, I said to them, if a judge lets out a murderer that shouldn't be let out and goes and commits another murder, shouldn't that judge be held responsible? I mean, they're holding, that's my opinion. Right, I said it publicly.
Don't make him say it.
The NYPD, they're holding the NYPD responsible and they
took away the
take away their homes,
qualified immunity,
and they took away their qualified immunity, which I'm annoyed about, and that's wrong.
They should have judge stat, where you're brought in front of a committee, and they can, you get repropanded over this.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, you know what the problem is, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, we have a judge here.
And children of all ages.
Look, the fact of the matter is, my 15 years on the bench, criminal court and Supreme Court, I was known as a public safety law and order judge. I didn't have to operate under a statute that required me to let people out because it wasn't one of the designated offenses or crimes where I was allowed to hold them in. So what you're doing when you say hold the judges accountable, you should be holding the governor who signed the bill and the legislators who voted for the bill accountable, because what they've done is they've hamstrung the judges.
Yeah, but can't judges say, too bad, I understand this is then, but let's put it out to the public. You know what I mean?
The problem is judges take an oath of office to enforce the law. So, for example, if I said, screw that law, I don't agree with it, I'm holding the guy in. So what they would do is they would remove me from my partner. They put me in Staten Island, where I'd have to take the ferry every day to go to work.
Although on a sunny day, it's a good one. Vinny, though, but back to you. How tough is it making your job and all of law enforcement? And you met with all of these different agencies, which, by the way, I think this is so great what you're doing, Vinny. These meetings, putting everybody together because the threats are so high. You've got this criminal like this guy with the 131 prior bus, who's obviously a monster what he did. And then you've got these individuals who are attacking you guys with snowballs. You've got so much going on. And then we've got threats to the homeland.
It's not just here, all right? It's not just in New York. This is taking place all over the country. And unfortunately, like you said, it's these governors that put these laws through, or your senators. It's a terrible thing. And moving forward, I mean, we only have ourselves, meaning law enforcement community. So we need to share our own information going back and forth, which is why the major cities was put together years and years ago. And it's a networking from different departments. So if we get a little piece of intel, we can share it with each other. And if someone needs anything, they always have someone that they can go back to in a different state.
Judge Weinberg.
I just want to make this final point. When they passed this law, the so-called bail reform law, the judges were not consulted, the DAs were not consulted, law enforcement was not consulted. They ran it through in the middle of the night as part of the budget. That's how they got it through. Nobody knew about it, and it was pushed by left-wing defense lawyers. That's how it got through.
So how does that feel, Vincent, when you guys are arresting somebody and then this revolving door of justice lets them out?
Well, when you're not done with your paperwork yet inside the precinct and they're already out of the court system, it's pretty disheartening. And then you're seeing the same individual back on the street, or that same individual, if let's say it's a domestic violence case, is out there, harassing the wife or husband again.
Sergeant, the quasi joke I want to tell is the same one I've been telling all along. If you're a criminal and you do a criminal act in New York City, you get arrested and you go home for dinner. If you live in New Jersey and you come over the bridge and create a criminal act and you get caught, you still go home for dinner.
Frustrating, right, Vinny?
It's amazing. Yeah, it's terrible. It's disheartening to put the uniform on, go out there. You're making arrests. You're making really, really good arrests. We work hand in hand with the judges and the court system, and they just made it impossible. Unfortunately. You
guys are doing the best you can, Vinny. I mean, that's the bottom line. We have your back, Vinny. We love you.
WABC supports you 110%, and we will get the truth out. And let me tell you something. My personal feeling, we're going to start naming, you don't have to say it. I'm going to start naming all the judges that are not doing the right thing. And we'll put a page in the New York Post.
And Vinny, call upon us anytime. Call upon us anytime, Vinny, that we can help get the word out.
We have a national footprint. Anytime you need anything from us, I would be more than willing to help you guys out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vinny.
And what do we all stand for, Vinny? Truth, justice, and the American way. God bless America.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.